For decades, the West Coast has been more than just an iconic hotspot for hip-hop. It's been a proving ground, a place where respect is currency and the price of entry can be steep.
Up until that point, I was just kind of like shocked and impressed to see that Fabolous stood on that position at that type of time with Suge.
From the moment an artist steps off the plane, they enter a world where unspoken rules dictates who thrives and who pays the cost. Back in the 90s, when the East Coast-West Coast rivalry burned brightest, whispers turned to screams from gunfire. Stories of chains snatched and reputations tested under the watchful eye or even the knowing nod of figures like Suge Knight.
About Jay-Z that he came to LA a few times, and Dre and Snoop and Dre told him that when you're on the West Coast, you wrote a song for me, don't worry about nothing.
Since then, the checkin hasn't been just a relic of a bygone era. It evolved. It adapted.
People were scared of Suge till he got knocked out.
You know, that's how it is. You know what I mean? And you try your best not to be slipping.
Each story, a chapter in a dangerous game where the stakes are fame, fortune, and sometimes even life itself.
You asked for that.
This isn't just about rap beefs.
Rappers and y'all want names for yourselves. It's not gonna happen. I don't check in nowhere I go.
It's about a hidden economy of power and fear, played out on the sun-drenched streets of Los Angeles, where even a simple Instagram post can have deadly consequences.
I'm not sorry about nothing.
This is the story of hip-hop's most perilous encounters.
All right, we chilling?
No. It's no entourage big enough. It's like when I did it to Meek Mills.
And discover what truly happens when out-of-town artists
Hey, Wayne, what's up, I'm Big Magic, what's happening?
come face-to-face with the unwritten laws of the West Coast checking in.
You better check in, nigga. Magic, nigga, ain't say I'm gangster, nigga. Crip. Straight up, nigga. Crip, nigga. Straight up, nigga.
The West Coast for years has been a hub for checking in, mainly on hip-hop artists, and one of the main culprits to establish this was Suge Knight. If not enforcing, at least having the knowledge thereof, but enforcing or having knowledge of said extortion can be a thin line.
Been rumors that LA is probably one of the most dangerous places for rappers. Do you believe that's true?
Yeah, because I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do, check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass.
Right.
Wow.
Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know, motherfucker, in California got your back?
During the infamous East Coast-West Coast rivalry in the 90s, there were a few stories floating around of East Coast artists being relieved of their jewelry. One case in point being when RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan attended Suge's 6'6" Deuce Club having his chain snatched.
RZA was in the VIP area. We had a little VIP area room. You know, when you get alcohol around, niggas start tripping and stuff.
Yes, one of the guys from the Wu-Tang, I forget who it was, they was in, I think, Suge Club 662 in Vegas, and one of Suge homies from Compton, one of them snatched their chain.
But the whole time he hollering, they got my chain, man, they got my chain.
With Tyreek, got his chain snatched, got punched in his mouth, got beat, got rustled up a little bit. Niggas got real funky. It was a club, he got real rowdy in this shit. RZA got a shine jab.
This situation was quickly resolved by death row artist himself, Tupac.
Somebody got word to Pac and Suge, hey, man, you know, about his chain, and they had already knew about it. Pac and Suge had already recovered it, and they got it back to RZA.
Pac got his chain back.
Wow, the mistaken identity.
It was a real G.
The Pac was thorough.
He had like 100 niggas with him.
Word.
The whole club, matter of fact, the whole club was with him.
He actually got the chain back, and then told the guy, now if you want to have a one-on-one fight, head up, I'll let this happen.
They even told him, hey, if you want a fair one, so this problem won't continue because we cool with y'all Wu-Tang dudes. And if you want a fair one, head up, y'all can have it. We'll arrange it. But RZA was like, no, I just want my chain back and I'm good. Got his chain back, went on.
Study how when Wu-Tang got their chain snatched at 6'6" Deuce, I not only found who did it, but gave them the message that if they want to see the niggas that did it, they can see them. Man to man. Just you and them. No guns, no nothing. If you feel like that. That's all I ask for.
Another artist that seemingly may have been caught in the rivalry himself would be none other than Jay-Z. After penning some tracks for Dr. Dre, a known rival of Suge, he was told that his visitation to the West Coast will be protected, only to find out quite the opposite.
I think Jay-Z he does what he do what he do.
Right.
But I mean, which is some good stuff.
Have you ever met him?
I never met him. Only thing I knew about Jay-Z that he came to LA a few times, and Dre and Snoop and Dre told him that when you're on the West Coast, you wrote a song for me, don't worry about nothing. Next thing I know, he was taped up, robbed, and gagged. But
Who, Jay?
yeah, Jay.
Out in LA.
Out in LA.
Never mentioned was who was possibly behind this kidnapping.
But you know,
Who was responsible for that?
Who knows? But you know the thing about it, I think Jay-Z's a great guy because he's created what he do. And I do like Jay-Z.
A little-known rivalry Jay-Z had at the time, which would become his first on-track diss, would be towards San Diego's own J.O. Felony.
And the only J I know is logo. J-A-Y-O for show, F-E-L-O-N-Y-C-E. Then Doc, he be
than the cleaners. J.O., you're not a felon, you're a misdemeanor. Don't let the Nina hit you and split your beaner.
This wasn't the only artist on the West Jay-Z went at it with. One well-known is when Tupac, not only on Machiavelli's 7 Day Theory, but also on posthumous tracks, attacked Jay-Z in full form.
Fuck Jay-Z, he broken, I smoke daily.
Machiavelli's verbal assault on Mob Slicker. Jay-Z from Hawaiian Soapy fame.
But what is not as known is when Jay-Z responded to Tupac on a track, Dead or Alive.
See a nigga diss me ain't nothing new. Understand what is how I retaliate. Wish to find who I am for me. Hollering shit from 89, Hawaiian Soapy.
Or another unreleased track he even once performed during an Apollo appearance with DJ Clark Kent.
They did a record going at Pac, but right as it was about to come out, son died. We performed it though.
Yeah? Where'd you perform it?
Performed it once, and you have to understand, like, the chip on Jay's shoulder is so crazy that it's just like he had to perform it. We was at the Apollo.
Wow.
He was at the Apollo and he performed it, and it was scathing. Like, crowds was like, oh! Like, it was super hard.
Wow.
Super hard. Like, if he was alive, there would have been no coming back. Like, nothing.
Like going into like super ugly territory?
No, this was so tough.
Till this day, the kidnapping has never been confirmed outside of Suge Knight's comments. Los Angeles would not be the only West Coast city prominently utilizing the check-in tactic. The king of New York, Biggie Smalls, would once find this out the hard way. But surprisingly enough, this would be before his fatal passing in the streets of Los Angeles. In the 90s, a young Biggie Smalls would make his mark on the mainstream industry with his single, Juicy. As any new artist, Biggie would begin to book shows in different parts of the country outside the East Coast norm. Little did he know his Sacramento show could have very well been his last. Weeks before Biggie's Sacramento show, he would go on a radio station in New York City and share some unpopular opinions.
Dude had gotten drunk in a magazine back in the days, and they told him, say, get real drunk and we're gonna do just do some on a scale from 0 to 10, you know, what you think about certain rappers. I was just so happened to be one of those ones that he said he gave a 0 to out of 10. I'm West Coast royalty at that time.
So how did you feel about that, man, when he gave you a 0?
I heard that shit too when he ranked me in. He ranked me in 40 on some fucked up shit.
You never lose your street mentality if fools want to, you know what I'm saying, step on your soil. You know what I'm saying? If a fool come at you on tape or something, it depends on who it is. I'm going to come back on them. If they're a small fry, I ain't even trying to get at them. But if they got a name for themselves and they call themselves embarrassing me, I'm going to get back at them.
At the time, two of the most prominent West Coast artists were E40 and Spice One. So the stage was set for a confrontation of two up-and-coming MCs from two different coasts fighting to get their voice on a national stage.
And why did you have beef with Biggie Smalls?
We
was on tour.
Though the confrontation was quick and to the point, its effects is still talked about to this day.
Smalls got to get on stage. Who the fuck is that? We don't even know who the fuck this nigga is, really, at this point. This nigga with Pac or whatever. I done heard this nigga name in the magazine or whatever, talking about Pac, 40, and Spice One. So we get off stage and whatnot, and when we get off stage, everybody basically leaves. This can clear out. Niggas is like, it's maybe like 30 left in that when this Biggie get on stage.
We're in Sacramento to do a show. We get there, it's like a warehouse. And we don't see too many cars. We don't see, it's a little weird. So we're like, well, I guess the crowd is light tonight. They have a DJ playing. And we're still looking around, we're like, It's not a lot of people here. It's maybe 10, 15 people here at the most. Big goes on. He's performing. All of a sudden, they start throwing coins at him. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that about? We head out, get to the back. The limousine is there, but the driver's gone.
He finished his show, and we backstage at this point, and this nigga finna get the limo. And that's when I approached him.
You know, the cabinet, you know, there's a lot of little young penis, little rattlesnakes.
The limo door was open, so I was able to put Big in there. They come up and they just very irate. That was some bullshit your man said in the newspaper. He did the article about my man.
I'm like, say, yeah, I say, what's up with this? You talking this magazine?
All of a sudden, you start hearing the trunks of cars opening. You know, just him, boom, 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 boom. Like, what the hell is that? And you just hear, turn around, I'm like, oh, shit, it's a gang of dudes with guns.
I had that 50 on me, that Desert Eagle. You know what I'm saying? You talking about my peoples, niggas ain't for play out here, nigga. We from still out here. Gun you down in this happening. And at the same time, I got 2 cages behind me. Like, niggas soak this shit, you know what I'm talking about? You get down around, just kill a Cali at this point. You know what I mean? Smack, nigga ain't gonna do it, make me more famous. So, you know what I mean? He f***ing with some goons at this point. 40 of them, 40 ain't here to save you, none of that.
I said, you know what? Get that man on the phone. I think that man and Big need to talk.
40, what you want me to do with this? Biggie Small, we in Sacramento, what you want me to do with this?
But see, what end up happening is, cousin Max Shine jump in the middle of, hold on. I got 40 on the phone, man. 40 want to talk to this nigga. Wack, right?
And I called us, he got on the phone, I talked to him. I had him.
They talked for maybe 5 minutes. He hands the phone back out. I was like, yeah, so what is it, man? He was like, you know what, you was right. Get the phone back to the little dude. I get the phone back. He was pissed. Man, but nah, we got him right here. He ain't going nowhere. We got him. So I guess your boy was just like, listen here, man, let him go. And give old boy the phone back.
So I respect my older cousin, because at the time it was a real organization. So I'm like, all right, nigga, I'll bag him off. But at the same time, we finna get on you. The word is go, we finna get on you. Hand me the phone for a second. He like, Lil Bruce. 40 tell me like this. No, 40 tell me like this. He like, Lil Bruce.
I say, man, let that man go, man. Get that man back to his room, whoop-de-whoop.
I be in New York, not by myself. So if you smack that, somebody gonna turn around and smack me. So I let it go. I was a nigga gave a nigga pass. You know what I mean? Not to say that cousin 40 didn't get a nigga a pass. You know what I mean? Because he came from the top, and he was like, you gonna have to let that nigga ride.
But he gives me the phone. He said, listen, I'm gonna have 2 of my boys escort y'all back to the hotel. And they're gonna stay there until y'all catch the plane in the morning. Because I don't know what any other knuckleheads is gonna do to you.
A couple of weeks later, I seen him and Puffy, me and my wifey, we in Vegas at the Wilson fight. Yep, we see him. We go ahead and take pictures and say, we got pictures. I got a picture of it right now. I'm just gonna be posting it. It's on the net though. Me, him, Puffy, you know what I'm saying?
For the way that he got us, I respect him. For the way that he took care of us after we resolved the situation, I respect him even more.
And as usual with street politics, when determining how did Biggie get booked for that show in the first place, you hear 2 different sides.
Because he booked the show himself to make sure he knew where we were going to be.
It was a show in Sacramento. And I know it sounds stupid, bro, but I had no idea it was a show. I had no idea. Them niggas called me at 11 p.m. at night.
Biggie Smalls would go on to become one of the biggest rap artists of all time with only 2 official albums released. He later on would give up the ghost in Los Angeles. Before we go too far in this video, please do me one small favor and apply pressure to that subscribe button. Yes, apply pressure to that subscribe button.
Ever want to invest in a YouTube channel? Now you can. On my Gigastar offering page, you'll see how much of my channel's future revenue I'm seeking to share with you. This is an SEC regulated offering. Check out my offering page with Gigastar for all of the details.
At the time, Suge Knight had one of the most recognizable violent images on the West Coast, with dozens of stories of run-ins with East Coast artists. Suge Knight's violent image would slowly begin to diminish through the years, and artists became more than willing to show they were not up to the task of becoming his next victim.
People were scared of Suge till he got knocked out.
Fabolous would once confront the Death Row CEO after Suge included his name in what sounded like a passive-aggressive insult.
I recall when Suge first got out, he was in New York. I wasn't with him, but he went on New York. I believe it was Hot 97 and said, the new road, we looking for artists, we looking for this type of artist, street niggas, cool thug niggas, not no Fabolous type niggas. He made a statement to that effect.
One day, you know, we riding around in the city, New York City, riding around, and Suge Knight is on the radio. So he up there with Angie, whatever, you know, Suge, you know, we tuning in, like, you know, that's Suge Knight. And he told Angie, like, yo, you know, put some gangsta, whatever, this and that. So Angie put on like some Fab shit. And he like, nah, I ain't say Hollywood, I want gangsta, man. And she took it off and put on like Ja Rule or somebody or something like that, where it was like, okay.
Shortly thereafter, we was outside the House of Blues, trying to get into the House of Blues because the sheriffs, it was a Def Jam party, and they had strict orders not to let Suge in. And Suge was trying to push his line to get in, but they had the sheriff standing right there kind of deep, like, all right, try if you want to.
So we hearing that, we riding around like, oh, what? Hollywood? So, you know, Fab felt offensive by that, like, I ain't Hollywood, like, you know what I'm saying? So he actually called the radio station to talk to Suge that day, like, but he was gone already. They like, Suge left. So what Angie did, she must have called Suge and told Suge, like, yo, Fab called up here looking for you, but he was already gone.
Throughout that process, Fabolous pulled up in a little two-seater Benz and, like, called Suge over, and Suge went to lean in the window. I mobbed up with him, and Fabolous got at him, like, man, what's up with what you was saying on the radio?
So Suge comes up to Fab and like, yo, what's up, homie? I heard that you know, you called a radio station for me. And Fab like, yeah, man, I want to let you know that, you know, they put my song on some music of mine, and you was like Hollywood. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to let you know, like, I ain't Hollywood, man. Like, you know what I mean? And Suge was like, damn, I respect you for that, homie, because, you know, usually I approach somebody and ask them if they said something, they say, no, they ain't say it. Like, you know what I mean? They scared like that, so I respect you for that, homie. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And based on what Suge said and who I thought Suge was, I was surprised to hear him say, oh, you know, it ain't like that. We ain't talking about niggas like you. Ooh.
Suge would not forget this encounter. Fabolous soon visited LA after this situation, where he would rent a car from a dealership where the owner knew Suge.
Fab had a Benz like from the rented it from like the car dealership. He's like, oh yeah, that's my people's over there. This and that. Long story short, it ended like that. You know what I mean? LA, this and that, cool.
Next thing you know, Fabolous was approached by 4 assailants who somehow knew his location.
Beverly Center. You know, Fab looking for t-shirts, little socks and whatever, stuff like that. And he goes in there, him and Kane just runs in real fast to go get what they gotta get and come back out. And like 4 dudes jump on Fab. Broad daylight in the mall, like 3 on Kane. Fab in the mall doing it with some dudes that's trying to rob him. They didn't have no guns, they were trying to strong arm him, like take the chain and all that. So he gets it in with these guys, like shirt rip, like really gets it in, like a real rumble where he hold it down, like, you know what I'm saying, him and Kane. You know, we get back to the hotel, you know, we all riled up, like, and Fab gets a call, and he talking on the phone, and he's like, nah, I'm good, like, you know what I mean, I only lost my 2-way, they ain't get nothing from me, this and that. Hang up the phone and say, yo, guess who was that? I was like, who's that? And it was Suge, calling, saying like, yo, I heard what happened to you, homie, I can get your stuff back. You know what I mean, I know these homies that did that, whatever. You know, and Fab is like, listen, they ain't get nothing, I dropped my 2-way, so I'm good, like, you know what I mean? I don't need nothing back, like, I'm good looking, you know?
G, close that door, G. Hey, Wayne. What's up, kid? I'm Big Magic, kid. What's up? You better check in, nigga. Magic, nigga. I ain't say I'm gangster, nigga. Crip. Straight up, nigga. Crip, nigga. Straight up, nigga.
Some of the easiest targets were rappers portraying and claiming representation of popular LA gangs. One familiar to this story would be Lil Wayne, who would claim a blood set mid-career, setting a trend that would later be copied by younger artists. This move by Lil Wayne was met with backlash and warnings. One of the first artists to address this trend will be that of Nipsey Hussle.
And then you see dudes like Wayne throws up blood all day or whatever, and like a lot of artists do. And like what, you know, obviously there's the video of where Wayne and Baby were in LA, 40 Glocc was running up to the car, like, what's up now? And so like,
I got an opinion about it. I feel like it's frozen.
Right.
Straight up, like, if he wasn't put on to this shit, You wasn't quartered on. You ain't going to the back of the buildings and fight. You know what I'm saying? Your homies and get put on.
Right.
You not from a gang.
Right.
Not only are you not from a gang, you ain't, you know what I'm saying, press a line and put in work. Not necessarily kill nobody, but you know what I'm saying, put yours on the line. It ain't just you a blood when it's convenient because you got a camera and it look cool.
Yeah.
And you around 100 Crips, you still a blood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When 40 Glocc and run up on you, you still a blood.
Yeah.
And I ain't talking about Wayne.
Yeah.
I got respect for that movement. I like the dude as an artist. Of course. I'm just saying
Lil Wayne would become a target anytime he touched ground and did business in LA, once getting bombarded by a pack of Crips with the likes of 40 Glocc and Spider Loc.
I mean, Lil Wayne put them in it. All that did them records, girl. Big payback. Man, I said it, big payback, man. Payback G with it went.
Lil Wayne video sets would become a game of peekaboo, where at times no one could tell which set of LA gangsters would show up and potentially bang.
And these niggas start banging when they get older, nigga. That's a 13-year-old, nigga. Just turned 13, nigga.
40 Glock's antics would not go unpunished. One way that rappers navigate through check-in scenarios would be to employ locals from the LA area. Industry opportunities would be just as lucrative as cash in certain situations, and the gang would be quick to use this as an opportunity. Catching 40 Glocc at a private party where 40 would be jumped, and then the gang would film the encounter as if it was a one-on-one.
I went to this pool party, and when I got there, 40 Glocc was there. And I said, you know, I looked around, and I said, well, this is my friend's house. I don't want to, you know, mess up the pool party. I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want to make any quick moves. And he seen me. And I'm thinking, like, you know, I don't know this guy. I'm thinking, like, this is 40 Glocc. This is a tough guy. Like, it's about to be a real battle in here, because this is 40 Glocc. This is the guy. Like, this is...
There was no cop calling or nothing after that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you look at the tape, them niggas jumped me for like about 20 minutes. They jumped me like 5 times.
So, you know, he got up and I did my thing, and, you know, that last right hook sent him into a tree. And that was the end of 40 Glocc in his career.
This would forever tarnish 40 Glock's career, where he would venture on to file a civil suit against the gang.
Then one day, you know, one of my boys called me. He's like, yo, man, like, somebody served papers at the house. And I'm like, well, who was it from? He's like, Lawrence White. I'm like, who is Lawrence White? So I just Googled Lawrence White, and then up comes a picture of 40 Glocc. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're dealing with. So, you know, I get my lawyers, and, you know, we'll go. And all he probably wants is, you know, a couple grand or something. And
What made me file a lawsuit? Yeah. I mean, as far as a lawsuit, I looked at it as like what he did. You know, he didn't do that as no street shit. You know what I'm saying? I looked at it more of he did it as an entertainment purpose. You know what I'm saying? So if it's an entertainment purpose, I'm an entertainer. I get paid to entertain.
Not every artist would come to the West Coast underwhelmed, even though signs would persist. One well-known artist would test the boundaries, even placing a mark on himself.
I'm starting to think that cloud chasing is cool. Like, that's a sport now. Like, being gangster's not cool no more. I think cloud chasing is. Mentioning Tekashi 6ix9ine's name, you lit, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue not to check in, you know what I'm saying? It's something I don't do. I love everybody city.
One of the most brazen artists to openly put LA check-in policies on blast would be that of Tekashi 6ix9ine.
You see, we in All-Star Weekend, man. LA, man, we here, man. You know what I'm saying? Me and Jimmy Boy.
Baby. Team John Rice. Shoulda went to.
This would be in the midst of warnings, pulling up with bricks of money in luxurious cars, also backed by Treyway gangsters. The soon-to-be federal informant did not shy away from flexing.
I think you did go to Jimmy. Hey, Team Done Right, man.
Team Done Right. There's a new piece coming.
New piece alert.
We let it fly, man.
Stay tuned, though,
We
man.
let it fly. We let it fly, man. Quick, you know what I'm saying?
But on top of this, he would use these check-in claims as clout-chasing opportunities. This would not be for just one trip, but several.
2 days out here in Los Angeles, it's been so beautiful. Like, they love me here. You know what I'm saying? Look at my city. Take a look at my city.
Beautiful.
How does it look?
Amazing.
That's my city right there. Man, squad, man. Deviation. Yeah, I remember they said I couldn't come out here, Murphy. I know. They said I couldn't come out here.
What's up, Dakwachi? Check it out. The only place you solid is in a PC tank, and that's real spit.
And this would not come without signs and wonders from others looking to use this as a clout-chasing opportunity as well.
By all means, homie, check in with the boy. I see you cancel one show. Smart move. But I'm waiting for you in LA. Pull up.
He wrote, D, sucking scary West Coast clout chasing rappers want to cancel shows. I'm still coming, no shows and all. I'm going to show you how gangsters move. LA West Coast, I love you. Y'all just got ass N-words in y'all city. I can't even ban y'all from the East Coast because you don't even got a name or fan base to come out here.
Yo, I'm going to say this right now before the media starts covering their own story. There's gangsters all over this world. East Coast, West Coast, down south, up north, all over the world there's gangsters. I don't check into nobody, you know what I'm saying? I respect everybody's soil that I walk on, but I do not check in anywhere I go, and it's gonna stay like that, you know what I'm saying? Rappers and y'all want names for yourselves. It's not gonna happen. I don't check in nowhere I go.
The overzealous flexing would become bad for business, once placing Nicki Minaj and Kanye West in harm's way.
We got some crazy 6ix9ine news right now. Basically, what's been reported is shots fired at a Beverly Hills home where 6ix9ine and Kanye West and Nicki Minaj were going to be doing a music video. What they're saying is 6ix9ine rented out an $80 million estate, and that was supposed to be like a backdrop for the video that they were shooting. And this is a song apparently on his new album. Kanye and 6ix9ine were on scene. Nicki Minaj had not reportedly showed up yet. They're reporting 10:25 p.m., shots fired call, police race to the house. Approximately 8 shots fired, potentially. No one was hit, but it looks like it was a drive-by shooting type scenario.
As far as, Tekashi and what he's doing is concerned, I mean, he can do whatever he wants to do. I'm pretty sure he knows that there could be, consequences, or, to, his actions. But if he willing to do what he got to do, he got to do what he got to do. It is what it is, man. It's his decision.
But things would finally get out of control once and for all at one of the most unlikely places at the Los Angeles International Airport, showing how determined the region had become to get their hands on one of hip-hop's most hilarious trolls.
Fight breaking out. I'm rolling out. Just chill.
Attention, shuttle passengers. We are in the process of building a world-class airport for Los Angeles.
I don't know who y'all must think I am. Well, let's see then. And that's when I went and put my jacket back up, and then I just was like, well, let's go then, since y'all, since this is what it is now.
Because we love it.
6ix9ine's fate would become a rarity, as if LA would take this as an embarrassment, sure to make sure others from the same region would not get the same fortune. Maybe this played a role when one of the most up-and-coming rappers from Brooklyn in a long time would pay a visit to the region.
Pop Smoke, whose real name is Bashar Jackson, was killed during a 2020 home invasion in the Hollywood Hills.
This visit would fall in line with the fate of another who took his last breath in Los Angeles, who also hailed from Brooklyn. Pop Smoke wasn't ignorant to gang behavior, having a reputation of himself running with the Woos, a Brooklyn gang known for running up on ops as well. When Pop Smoke would lose his life, rumors quickly developed saying this was over a stolen Rolls Royce.
Niggas know what the
Pop Smoke had been arrested for never returning it to supposed Russian gangsters, but soon we would find that Pop Smoke would fall victim to the gang culture himself.
DA also alleges the slaying was gang-related.
All because of one Instagram post that shared too much information. Vigilantes would show up to the Airbnb where they would infiltrate the residence while Smoke was exiting the shower. Maybe he would still be here now if he was more willing to be relieved of his jewelry, but being the same villain, he was unwilling to part ways with his change, which led to the killing. But Wack 100 would tie this directly to Pop not checking in.
They said, Wack, man, we sending Pop, he want an Airbnb in Hollywood. I said, negative. Put him at the W. Actually, don't even send him to the W Hollywood, send him to the W in Westwood. So I guess they didn't listen to me. I get a call 3-4 days later. Blueface called me, said, Pop want me to come through the studio. I said, negative. So he called me 6 in the morning. He said, man, they tell me they killed him. Them people that came to get him was from the opposition. It was business for them. It wasn't even personal.
He was like, he's at an Airbnb. I said, nah, it's already done. Because I said, you should tell Cuz to go get 2 hotels. Stay in one and then invite the other ones, like people that he want to bring to his room to another hotel, but sleep in another one.
Yeah. Okay, units already en route.
Is the person who did...
I can't talk to you anymore. I can't talk to you anymore. Just
Okay.
come here.
Do you know what to do?
No.
Okay, then listen to me. I'm going to tell you how to help this person.
I'm listening.
Okay, now listen. The person...
Just got here.
Okay.
No.
Pop Smoke's demise would place a dark cloud on a borough that once again sees someone of so much promise get taken away in a flash from an area known for violent past with outsiders.
24-year-old Corey Walker pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter earlier this month.
And what would rub it in is when the assailant would make an appearance and speak on the regrets he lacked on his actions that night.
Walker admitted to planning the home invasion.
I'm not sorry about nothing. It should never happen, but I ain't sorry. Niggas die every day. Like, he was rapping about it.
LA's reputation of getting rid of rappers would only continue when a Philly artist would get too comfortable going to one of SoCal's deadliest locations one could grab a meal from, the Manchester Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Too comfortable would be the only word to describe P&B Rock's deadly passing, especially when the signs were there.
Yeah. They try to approach me on some cool shit. I'm just knowing too much. I'm from the trenches too, so I'm just like not paying it. I'm not taking it lightly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm clutching and all that. Like I'm like, bro, what is y'all niggas trying to do? Like I'm going off of the energy. What you saying right now? I know what you saying, but it's like I'm getting it too. You feel me? Like, and when they peeped it, like they started like getting a little bit more lackadaisical. And it's like, all right, we could talk. You feel me? And they try to test me like on some test me shit. Like they was just like, yeah, come to the hood. You feel me? Like come to the hood. I went to their hood. You feel me? With strapped up. You feel me? Like I went with my niggas. Like it was like 3 of us. We wasn't crazy deep. Cause I just be wanting niggas to know like, I'm like y'all. I'm just like y'all, bro. You feel me? Like I'm just like you. I came from the trenches, and I want niggas to like.
Maybe beneath the surface, one could say that there were many targets placed on P&B Rock.
Yeah, Roddy Ricch did the same. Put up the Roddy Ricch projects 2 different times before Roddy Ricch was even like super heavy. It was like, damn, bro, you just came out here like it was just me and him. Me and him went to the projects. He like, bro, like you ain't got no security and nothing. Like in LA, it's like they bold. It's like they want you to know. They want to spark a conversation with you first before they get into some of them might just go crazy. Like I know some niggas like that too. They might be on their sneaky too. But the majority of the times I got into some, it was like they just gave a drop up too fast. You feel me? So the second time I got into, like niggas was just talking loud as shit, wanting me to hear their conversation. And it's like I'm with my peoples, like I'm with my daughter and my girl. Like why they talking about this gangster? Like with this around, like we outside, we on Fairfax. I'm like, man, you know, I already peed the blitz. We This out. gangsters out there on Fairfax. Like that's what I'm saying. Like what the f is going on? Like I'm on Fairfax right now. So I'm like, man, we out of here. You feel me? Like we going. My girl, like, no, we ain't. What's wrong? Like I'm just going off of the vibes. Like we out.
The victim was sitting at a table eating with a female witness when he was approached by the suspect. The suspect then brandished a firearm and demanded his property.
When he was first murdered, rumors would arise on who the possible culprits was.
How would you even get on?
Nigga, I'll take your shit off your neck. Real talk. Yo, I'm bad over this nigga, you heard me? Who's account? Where you at?
Why is you not from out here and you in the trenches, cuz? With work on like that? On the east side? You asked for that.
Even well after his death, more facts would be revealed on who was actually in attendance at Roscoe's that day.
So when that happened, I wish I could have just told him, like, bro, just give up the jury and we'll get it back to you later. But it just happened so fast and he wasn't corroborating. And that's when they took it off of him by force. You get what I'm saying?
At about 1:15 p.m., Southeast Patrol officers responded to the 100 block of Manchester Avenue for a robbery that just occurred. When they arrived, they found a male suffering gunshot wounds, and that male was then transported to the hospital.
I'm listening to him break down how him and Big U was sitting in the same Roscoe's when P&B Rock got his TV turned off. You telling me that it's coincidental that Big U and Luce Cannon just so happened to be sitting in that Roscoe's when P&B Rock got murdered?
But soon after, the cops would find and arrest those behind this.
The man convicted of murdering rap artist PNB Rock at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles restaurant in September 2022 has been sentenced to 31 years to life in prison. Last month, the jury found 42-year-old Freddie Lee Trone guilty of felony murder, robbery, and conspiracy.
Two of LA's most well-known public gang figures for the past decade would be 60's Big U and Pyru's Wack 100. There was a moment when the two were friends. One artist who allegedly witnessed this epic collaboration would be Future, who would be accompanied with his longtime girlfriend, Sierra. This would not deter Wack 100 from attempting to collect a debt for another friend, Trick. Wack 100 and Big U would approach Future and LAX in an attempt to collect this debt, which would send Future on a 100-meter dash.
So me, Trick, and Big U was real close at the time, right? Hey, Future owed bro some money. All right, Trick in Detroit. Me and Big U on a red-eye flight to Atlanta. We coming to LAX. We coming through the security, putting our bag through the thing. Who we see on the other side? Future and the girl that's with the football player. Sierra. We see Future and Sierra. I say, bro, is that who I think it is? He looked. I said, yeah. I said, you take them. I got him. When we come to the thing, I say, hey, homie, you got that money for Trick? He take off running. I'm chasing the dead homies through the Delta. What the fuck? He runs into a motherfucking terminal, and he runs into the thing, but it ain't hooked up to no plane. He left it.
Whoa, bro.
Wow. He runs into the terminal. True story. He runs into the terminal, right?
He would still be unable to escape the pair. Future would make one last attempt to stave off any confrontation by making a call.
When he run into the terminal, he take his phone out, right? He know he can only go so far, because what you gonna do, jump onto the runway? That's a long drop down there, right? He throws the phone at me on speaker. All I hear is Stunner voice. He say, Wack, it's me, Stunner, talk to me. I say, Stunner, I'm busy right now. He said, yeah, but I don't want you to be, nephew. What the going on? I say, oh, Trick a bag, man. He can't be in our backyard and he owe bro a bag. Either he gonna pay or he finna get up and then he gonna pay, right? Trick at home sleep. He don't know what's going on. He in Detroit, right? He say, Wack, my word to you, I pay the debt. Let him be. I got business with that man. I said, what? He said, Wack, it's Stunner talking to you. As your brother, leave him be. You got my word, whatever the debt is. Send me Trick, I pay him in the morning.
This event would still to this day be deemed allegedly, being that Future first denied ever meeting the two.
Okay, Trick want people to know about the Future in the airport if it happened. You get what I'm saying? Like, nigga, oh, that's admitting to some bullshit. Like, nigga, what is you walking down for somebody else's money for? You know what I'm saying? Like, cuz that's supposed to be under the wraps.
Big U would also deny that this ever happened.
We ain't doing nothing. We looking for Future.
Man, I swear at least once a week, I wake up to a good-ass laugh on this bullshit social media platforms. The real world is a beautiful place, people. You should try it sometime.
Becoming too comfortable is a weakness in LA, a place whose violence is disguised by bright sun and beautiful palm trees. Assuming a few bodyguards and friends is enough could become a costly mistake.
All right, we chilling?
No. It's no entourage big enough. It's like when I did it to Meek Mills. You get what I'm saying?
On March 20th, 2025, the FBI would drop a bomb on not only Big U, but a considerable amount of fellow gang members, hitting Big U with a 107-page indictment that detailed horrific accusations of robbery, extortion, prostitution, and fraud. Inside the indictment, it would state that a rapper with the initials RR would have to cough up thousands of dollars to stave off a potential termination of a rapper with the initials MM. This assumption would be the two rappers were Rick Ross and Meek Mills. Ross at the time had Meek Mills signed to his label. Even outside of this situation, it was said that an easygoing Meek Mills was once spotted in LA where he was relieved of a watch.
I took his watch off, I took his chain off, he handed it to me. Nice, easy, he was a sweetie pie about it. So
the Rolling 60s Crip, Luce would detail this situation.
So when I walked in, the security see me and they see my team and they was like, oh, we know what this is. They broke, like they split, right? As soon as they split, I said, you know what is this? He took it off, handed it to me. I was like, you know, I'm waiting for a payment. So as soon as I got the confirmation, I gave him back his shit. I read it like that. I said, this is a lesson to you.
Though this story was told for months, Meek Mills would not respond till all parties involved were apprehended by authorities.
This is what Meek Mill had to say about Luce Cannon. He said, this guy must be using the story to confuse this indictment because I've never seen him before. I would have put him to God's test on the spot. I never even met Buddy. I don't negotiate with fake thugs. Ask him what chain because on my chains, some shit. Like watches all 300K up vibes. So this is Meek Mill responding, basically denying that he even met Luce Cannon. He's saying that shit all cap, and he said, what watch or what chain? The thing is, I don't even think Luce Cannon even mentioned the chain. Did he? I don't remember Luce Cannon even mentioning the chain.
Soon to be on trial will be Rolling 60s leader Big U. Not only will this longtime Crip be on trial, but also the art of checking in will be examined front and center.
You getting these movies done, you better know it. You know what I mean? Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in.
But just as any other field of crime, when one leader falls, it only opens the door for another. Only time will tell who will be the next one on the West Coast to take on the task of making out-of-town artists check in.
Hello everyone, I have a huge announcement today that I'm so excited to share with you. If you ever wanted to be a bigger part of this community, well, here's your opportunity. By partnering with Gigastar, I'm able to invite you to become an investor of this channel. Unlike Patreon, where you give without the possibility of getting no financial return, in Gigastar Market's crowdfunding model, you can support me and have the potential for financial return. You'll have the opportunity to surpass being a patron and becoming an investor. The potential to make money together. There are a lot of orators in my sector. People not necessarily from the culture, telling the stories of the culture. Here's the thing, a lot of these YouTubers have an entire team. So I should be working on getting a team. Therefore, I can tell more stories, push out more content. Here's how it works. On my Gigastar offering page, you'll see how much of my channel's future revenue I'm seeking to share with you. You'll have a chance to purchase rights of potential future revenue of my YouTube channel. The revenue share percentages that I'm offering are considered security, which are represented digitally, and they enable investors to receive a portion of my YouTube channel's future revenue income through automated monthly payments. This is an SEC regulated offering, so I'm limited in how much information I can share here. Check out my offering page with Gigastar for all of the details. I'll leave the link below. If you're ready to invest, there are 3 different tiers you can choose from, each with a different revenue share percentage and perk. As an investor, you can support the channel by liking, commenting, and sharing the videos. If the channel gets more views, the revenue may grow, and if it does, investors may receive a larger monthly payment. Ultimately, you can help take my channel to the next level as my partner on this journey. YouTube is my #1 passion. I placed my comedy career on hold. I love it so much. Not only can I tell jokes, I can narrate stories. There are so many stories that need to be told, but one of the biggest problems is I don't have a team. Yes, I've been doing this all by myself, and with your help, I can easily take things to the next level and compete with million sub YouTubers. And I believe I'm meant for that anyway. I believe I'm gonna get there one way or another, but I'd like for you to be a part of this journey. This offering is live and you can invest until it closes or we're sold out. Check out more details in the link in the description or by visiting invest.gigastarmarket.io. Thank you for all the support. Moxie out. If you like this documentary, I'm pretty sure that you'll like the other documentaries I got, long form and short form, like this one that tells about how Sean Diddy Combs became King Xerxes. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxie Approved, right? With that water. I see you here next time on Moxie Approved.